I met a gypsy.
Let's talk about the question itself. Great question, because I hadn't really thought about it you got three dudes up there. It's the biggest story in the sport right now that everyone's talking about, but no one's talking about. And to ask AP how he feels about being Tomac's teammate, I thought was actually genius. It's a great way to get someone to talk about a thing that they can't really talk about in a way that they don't. It's just a fucking hypothetical. I thought it was a brilliant question. Hypothetically, what do you make of Tomac going to KTM?
I think it's better than Ducati.
Yes.
And the reason is because you see Ducati somewhat struggling over in Europe. Not completely, but they're working out the kinks, right? It's like...
Yeah, it's a brand new bike.
You go get the latest iPhone, the first firmware update, and you're like, fuck, this thing's slow. It's not working right. And then it takes a bunch of beta testers to figure it out. Tomac is smart enough to know that, hey, I don't have a whole lot of fire left in me. And before it's completely gone, I need to set myself up for success. And how does he do that? Does he do that with a team that he then has to build because of all of his experience, which could be very draining on yourself when you're trying to chase after stuff, when now you're also like the manager and the tester, and you're giving away all the secrets, when you really just want collectively people to be behind you to go do what you're paid to do, is to win.
Yeah.
But he picks KTM, which is also interesting because at this point I'm like, he might not be doing it for the money, even though I think that's still a good part of it. He still believes he's going to get paid.
Oh, no, he thinks he's going to win.
But
yeah, no,
my point is like all the financial trouble that's been going on with the restructuring with KTM, because over in Europe, it's not considered a bankruptcy, it's considered a restructuring. Yeah. And they're more than likely going to be okay. They're going to be able to pay their guys.
Yeah, well, the US is it's like its own company. So they've got all of their own.
But correct me if I'm wrong, the financing, isn't that still going to come from the corporate Premier Mobility Group on everything?
I don't know. I'd have to ask the question, but I feel like the US would cover a fair bit of that nut with the company here. I could be completely wrong.
Okay, well, if we just take out...
But yeah, take even the money side of it, yeah.
So either he's risking potentially not getting paid, but for a program that has been proven to win with, you've got Roxon to Sexton to Dungey, it's a proven program that he doesn't have to build off of. I think it's beautiful. I mean, who else is... The only thing better really for him to be would be to stay on Star, to be honest, because he's not having to try to go from, a Jap bike to an Aussie bike. He, in the different frame, he can just do what has been working.
Yeah.
But I believe, at least I have allegedly been told, as far as the budget is spent there with the riders that they already have, Cooper's getting a big bonus with a contract up from winning again.
Well, and he, I don't know how if it's common knowledge or not, but the first 2 years on his Star contract, when he went back to Star, he took a massive pay cut, like massive. So he basically backed himself and said, "I'll take a huge sign-on cut.
Just give me an opportunity.
Let me be here." Obviously, the win bonuses were a lot, championship bonus. So, like, he got a good bonus structure, but he took a massive hit for those 2 years. And it was because they had Tomac as well. So, Tomac was getting top dollar because he's the top dog. And Cooper Webb is a top dog in the sport. He took his cut just to be on that program, delivered him a championship, and got his pay rise. So there was like even some timing. And I think Tomac's retirement also played into that, where Yamaha was like, hey, chill on these 2 years. Tomac's retiring, then you can get the pay rise. So like Coop took his medicine on those 2 years of deals and then got rewarded and won a championship.
But I mean, think of him betting on himself, because his stock was not very valuable when he signed with that. and now it's exceptionally worth quite a bit more. And again, this needs to be more open as
Yeah.
far as what the contracts look like, what the bonus is. That is something that the fans want to know, and they should know. Uh, from what I understand, is even like a lot of the bonus stuff is taken out by like an insurance policy.
Yeah, they insure against all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lloyd's of London, I'm pretty sure, is the one that insures it all. So what do you reckon Coop's championship bonus is?
it had to have been at least $1 million.
I think it was
At least.
1.5. I think at KTM he asked for more, and I think 150 win bonuses. So he just added a little 50% on top of what everyone was doing previously. So
Good.
dude,
The worst thing
crushed.
as far as negotiation come from a position of power,
Leverage.
and then ask for more than what you want, and then somewhere down the line you find a no, and then you go from there, and you more than likely are better off than you never ask for exactly what you want,
No,
because
they'll come down.
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about Eli on the KTM bike as a whole? You used to have a Husky, right? Do you still have a Husky?
Not at the moment, no. But I've had a lot of Huskies. I had like 5 of them I had 6 of them from 16 to 21. And the KTMs have more, the Huskies are more, it's probably because of the airbox of it.
Yeah, the carbon airbox.
Yeah, they're a little bit more of like, they call it the vet type motor, where the KTMs are more powerful. They're more beefy, especially on top. I think it's going to work beautifully for him because Tomac never really sees the lug on those bikes. But again, from a motor standpoint, they'll make whatever the fuck they want to make for the rider.
Yeah.
But as far as the base model, if we're talking sheer just stock KTM, that bike is built for a Tomac to ride.
I think, I'm curious. At least my own experience.
And they could put a cable clutch on it too if they need to.
I wonder if they will. I wonder how easy or hard that is.
And I don't think the production rule has... From like the questions I asked at Star, where they're literally using different forks that they don't make anymore for the Yamahas to have the KYBs on there.
But the production only
is
like the engine cases,
the frame.
Yeah, the frame. Like there's only...
So they could totally put the clutch on there.
Yeah. I just wonder how the clutch is actually set up. Like Yamaha is set up like it comes with the hydraulic. Comes with a cable, but you can put a hydraulic. The 26s come with a hydraulic, but you can put a cable. So I just don't know if KTM's like built the same way. I'm sure they could figure it out. But I wonder, like my own experience I've owned both KTM and Yamaha. He's going to have all the power he wants with the KTM. They're going to be able to make that thing into a rocket ship. It's actually faster stock than the Yamaha. I think the Yamaha just feels a little bit faster. But
Sounds like a weed whacker.
Yeah, but the KTM, I always found when you rev that bike like really high up in the RPM range, the chassis feels tight. Like that's when the bike doesn't feel good to me. But on the Yamaha, dude, just and the bike feels fine. The chassis feeling doesn't change at all when you go from like peak revs on a Yamaha to peak revs on a KTM. That's like the only thing where I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing at that level, or if that's a thing that
we're talking about the KTMs that used to have the swing arm linkage.
Oh, no.
So I'm pretty sure Tomac is going to be able to win on any bike as long as he starts in front of Jet. I will say that. We've yet to see Tomac pass Jet out front. It's always, we're only in round 5. However, the only guy that's been able to do it has been AP, and he was on a KTM.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna be.
I think don't count him out.
No,
Beast mode is there.
Yeah.
The whole playing field is just leveled up considerably.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy because truthfully, I've been the guy that has been saying he's been retiring for like 4 years, right? And every year, I got to say I was wrong.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.